Hi everyone and welcome to Poppy DIY Crafts. Today we're doing a colorant experiment. So different types of colorants have different effects in resin. And today I want to try them out side by side to see what happens. So I have 5 different types of colorants. Our first one here is considered a resin colorant. This one is a liquid. This is mica powder. It's a dry powder. Alcohol ink. This one is also a liquid. Opaque pigment concentrate. This one is a liquid. And acrylic paint, also a liquid. So what we're going to do is start with a layer of clear resin, and then we're going to mix the colorants into separate batches of clear resin. Then we're going to pour it into the mold and see what happens. And the resin that we're going to be using is Pro Marine. Different types of resins have different effects, so just to let you know, this one is going to be with Pro Marine. Alright, let's get started. Let's start first by mixing our resin. For this experiment, I did not do anything to the resin first. I usually warm up my resin to prevent bubbles, but this time I'm just pouring the resin at room temperature. Next, we'll pour a bit of resin into each cavity. In separate cups, we're going to mix each of the pigments. The blue one is the mica powder. The magenta is with alcohol ink. The orange is with resin colorant. White is the pigment concentrate. And the last one, purple, is acrylic paint. Now taking each of our colors, we're going to pour a spiral into each cavity. I'm trying to do a thin spiral where the lines don't touch each other. But since this mold is kind of small, it's really hard to pour such a thin spiral. Okay, so this is pretty much my best. Alright, now that we're done, we're going to wait 12 hours for the resin to cure. Alright everyone, so the resin is cured. I am really excited about this. I've actually never done a side-by-side comparison like this before. So let's demold. This first one here is the mica powder, the blue one. And oh, take a look at this. This is actually really cool. Do you see that? So here is the back. And here is the front. Okay, and this one is the white pigment. Here's the back. And here's the front. So as you can see, my pigment was actually pretty thick and a lot of it dropped down to the very bottom. However, you still see a bit of that flower effect in the back. This is super cool. I think if I had used about half the amount of the colorant, it would have turned out much better. But this is still really, really pretty. Okay, the next one is the acrylic paint, the purple one. So here it is. Oh, this is kind of nice too. This also has that flower effect, but it's more feathery. Do you see that? Just to compare, it's actually very similar. That is nice to know. The next one, the magenta, this one is the alcohol ink. And as expected, we kind of expected it to kind of just spread out. And it did not drop at all because we did not add any white pigments or any white alcohol ink. So it just kind of floated on top. But there's still lines in the pigment that you can see from the pour. That's a very nice subtle effect. And our last one, this one is the colorant, the resin colorant. Okay. Oh, this one's nice. Oh wow, look at that. So these two are very similar. The pigment kind of stayed on the top. It did not sink at all, just like the alcohol ink. But I really like this effect. It looks almost like a seashell. So our conclusion is the alcohol ink and the resin colorant are very similar. These both spread in kind of a very nice smooth pattern without any sinking. And then the next three, the mica powder, the white pigment, and also the acrylic paint, has very cool flowery effects. So there's some sinking and there's also some kind of feathering effect in the colors. Alright everyone, so this was a very fun experiment. I hope you liked it. And I'm going to keep these little pores. I'm probably just going to write on the side what the materials I used. That way it'll help me decide what to use depending on the effects that I want. And if you found this video useful, please give it a big thumbs up. And if you have not yet subscribed, make sure to subscribe and I'll see you next time. Bye!